right, well, I guess it's time to start up Dwarfs for the day, hey? So, Jack, can I get a hello, YouTube? Let's see how Rosepass runs. Yeah, and if you're liberating all the forks, what's wrong with the spoons? And the knives? And what about, like, dessert forks? So, this fort running yesterday got a massive speed increase, so let's see what it runs at. I swear I don't have Fast Dwarf on. I also need to move my camera just slightly. So for people watching, you may notice that some things jumped a little bit forward. And by that, I mean, I did play on the dying CPU on Tuesday, but I'm not archiving that VOD because it ran like shit. So I'm not going to archive that VOD. But I did build some housing up here. That's basically it. I built some housing. Nothing else in particular happened aside from some sus visitors showed up, so we are interrogating them. Brahms. Thanks for the 21st month. Welcome back. So this particular... Oh, yeah. Also, what about sporks? Do you support the existence of sporks? Are you pro-spork? Liberate the fork. It's a very important question. Because I am very pro-spork, specifically when camping. Spork is one of the most important camping tools. Anyway, this fort zooms. And that's a vile force of darkness. But this fort zooms. It is ridiculous. Like, it is actually nuts how well this fort runs. So... Oh. We've got a goblin. Hold on. Let me see if I can get my soldiers out here. There's probably a bunch of snatchers, I would guess. Oh, no, there's a bunch of goblins. Where are the others? Did it just, like, select a bunch of goblins that are currently in stealth? I'm pretty sure that's what it just did. Oh, there's the rest of them, I see. They're all on the other side. Yeah, I don't know what is up with this particular fort. It's zooming. It's kind of crazy, actually, how well this fort runs. But our first dwarf comes flying in, who's Ficod. We'll go through the dwarves that are named in the fort in a moment. Ficod is dueling with this here goblin, and seems to have taken them out quite handedly. Not a particularly skilled dwarf here, but did do his damnedest to defend the fortress. I'm actually going to move the dwarves to just simply hanging out here. And actually won the fight by stabbing the crossbow goblin in the head with a steel spear and cloving the injured part asunder, which is definitely a good way to win a fight. We've got Ficod who ran forward and just took out a second goblin, probably in similar fashion, if I had to assume. Once again, stabbing the goblin crossbowman in the head with a spear. And he's now chasing forwards to fight with this other bow goblin, and then potentially going to go chase those thieves, although they seem to be running quite quickly. The rest of the dwarves are running towards the goblin threat. Locum seems to be leading the charge, no longer led, and is now being led by Odom, who's chasing this goblin to through hell and high water, and does actually get injured briefly, but was able to kill the goblin in the process, and I might actually need to slow down the frame rate. Shark Jumping Walrus also got into a fight, stabbing the Spear Dwarf, or the Spear Dwarf stabs the Bow Dwarf corpse in the left foot with an iron spear. The corpse? There was corpses? That seems bad. Was that a visitor? I wonder if that was a visitor. Anyway, stabbed a bow dwarf, or a bow dwarf corpse, which is a little awkward. Anyway, so the Danger Tavern continues. That was kind of a poorly timed fight, but the whole point of this fort is we have this cavern on the surface, and we are leaving it open, meaning whatever shows up, and whatever threats happen in it, we have to deal with. We're currently running on a Ryzen 7800 X3D CPU. Yes. And this fort is like kind of an anomaly. I've tested a couple of different forts. This one just runs at native FPS, and it's ridiculous. Admittedly, it's not like the most advanced fort. Like, it's not the craziest fort I've ever built. Like, it's like, this is going on. We have some water stuff going on, but I did start this fort and generate this world after the FPS update, like the big performance update. But, like, we've got access to these caverns down here. I might turn the frame rate down. Like, I might... That's not something you'll ever hear me say again. I might turn the frame rate down. It's a little nuts how well this fort runs, to the point where it's like... Yeah, like, like, that performance increase is insane. Welcome back, Gigmoth. Thank you very much for the 7th month. It's good to have you. Set it to 75? I guess so, yeah. Like, it is something. Did I not accept it? I did not accept it. So wait, where's the in-game frame rate then? Unless I'm blanking on something. Not in this screen, is it? Visitor cap. I was under the impression it was in the other one. Blazing offset. Ah, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. 75. And then graphical, you go to 60. Also, chat room, can I get some jams? Let's see if I can get this. Why are you not letting me turn you down? Yeah, I mean, that'll be fine. The performer's name to DJ Callahan? Maybe in your fort, not in mine. Hello, Gray R. You're just looking to pop in and say thank you for your videos. You found me a week ago looking for tutorials, and yes, your tutorial Let's Play. Your new ones have been a bonus. Yay! But you've been keeping up with Rosepass here and there and have been really enjoying it. Cheers. Also, fellow Vancouverite. Well, hello! It's great to hear me talking about all the local stuff. I don't leave much, so it makes it that easy. But hello from Surrey. Hello. Obviously, this is a party to commemorate the win against the Goblin Thieves that were attempting to steal our children. By the way, we have War Grizzlies. Worth noting. Oh, that's the wrong scene. That's the scene I was aiming for, but I hit the wrong button. Someone move. You know that feeling when like your hotkey pad moves over just slightly and then you hit the wrong button because you were aiming for a different one? Completely unrelated button. All right, so let's read the dwarves that are alive, shall we? Nerev, a devilish potato analysis lover, attacking sharks, Bastet, Kadranos, and Celistaris, as well as Gonatank and Hiker Jag, Clockworks, Lightning Roger, Nortrum, PB, and Safe Keeps, as well as Shark Jumping Walrus, UGDPY, Van Ori, and Zsan Art. And that is everybody who is currently named in the fortress. So all that being said, I guess you can redeem dwarves now. You are, in fact, still alive. It's almost impossible to be further away while still in Canada. Liberate. Also, check, can I get a round of beers because Rauschenkat Cat used to be rich? What kind of dwarf would you like? You're meditating on suicide? There's a very dark god that a lot of dwarves here worship, who's like, not a pleasant individual, shall we say. Also, and I just realized we actually have a consort here. PB is the Baron consort of Keeper Bronze. Am I going to play Jagged Alliance? I mean, I've been playing Xenonauts. Do I have to play more games like that? Was there a Brewer Tavern Keeper available? Do you want to be in the Safe Tavern? or the Danger Tavern? Because there's always positions available in the Danger Tavern. But I have never played a beard or no beard ration cat. Would be the question. I've never played a Jagged Alliance game. And I try to minimize my, like, I'm going to go out of my way to get keys for games unless it's a game that I'm really interested in. I'm being kind of blunt, having never played one. I'm not particularly interested in the franchise. And I haven't really seen anything to make me interested in the franchise. And, so I don't know. Shrug. The other thing for me is, I don't know if I want to play a modern military game in a semi-realistic setting right now. Like, super down for Xenonauts, because it's XCOM, and who doesn't love shooting aliens? I just... yeah, I don't know. And I'm sure Jagged Alliance 2 is legendary. I've never played it. I probably won't. Where are you? There you are. That cut. Or spicy chips when they aren't blowing themselves up. It hasn't gone above 90 degrees yet, so... it's been sitting at a pretty cozy, like, 60. Did you upgrade your Mobo to the Ryzen fix? I'm not using one of the motherboards that had problems. It was only Asus motherboards that were having the explosion problems. And I've already benchmarked this thing and it ran fine and didn't go fast. And didn't overheat, so... now's not the time to be doing the whole, like, let's make streamers' anxiety go through the ceiling because he's using a CPU that blew up once when it was maxed out entirely. In fact, I already undervolted it, so I'm pretty convinced it'll be fine. It's actually like 75, which is just the price of 2 tickets. So I actually looked it up afterwards. The price that I was thinking of previously was the family pass, which I used to buy for my family. But, yes. Here's the thing, Psycho. I know how to build a computer. So just don't worry too much. But yeah, no, I was thinking of the family pass from years ago. Years ago. Because I do recall looking up the prices after that stream. Also, let's read through. Also, although I will say now that they've like removed the bike lanes going into Stanley Park, I'm probably just never gonna go again. So there's literally no reason for me to go there anymore. He's never the slightest bit cheerful about anything. Word! It's describing me. He drops any activity at the slightest bit of difficulty or even the suggestion of effort being required. Okay, never mind. No longer me. He rarely looks on others with lust. Definitely not me. And tends to assume that the worst of two outcomes will be the one that comes to pass. Relatable. Has a tendency to consider ideas and abstractions over practical applications, and he tends to avoid any physical confrontations. And he works to square his natural tendency with his respective martial prowess. And he tends to avoid crowds, and he can easily fall in love or develop positive feelings, and he has a little interest in joking around, is very humble, and is not particularly interested in what others think of him. Tends to think before acting. When he's bored, he scratches his nose. He needs alcohol to get through the working day. He dreams of crafting a masterwork someday and personally believes that the mastery of skill is one of the highest pursuits and sees merrymaking as a waste and doesn't care about nature one way or another. You're going to be a lovely bartender. State of copper, sterling silver, sardonyx, and the color dark violet. Short swords and shields and backpacks and impalas for their mighty leaps. And the words of the bewildering musics, and when possible prefers to consume blood amaranth beer and alfalfa seeds and absolutely hates toads. I mean, that's just good advice, though, Zidane. You're more likely to die in a car than you are building a CPU. So build a computer. Don't buy a car. Someone named Ithra Heather Dive wants to join, and we have a fish person in the water. who's a ringleader. We have a criminal fish person in the water, chat. Right next to somebody's body. Do you think they brought them down with them? So, somebody's body's in the river right next to a fish person ringleader who actually is very upset after seeing this dwarf's dead body. Killed an elf once. That's funny. Well. Fish Mafia. Certainly seems like it. Let's see. Do they have any demands? Catapult parts. Yes, right. Catapult parts. Catapult parts. Catapult parts. Catapult parts. I can't dig up that way, so I guess we'll put Siege Workshop down here. Is your dwarf still alive? I don't think you're in this fort. No, you're in the other one. An elf has shared many tales from beyond Rosepass. Did he just swim over? Probably. I'm sure that the death of that person and the fish mafia leader are completely unrelated, but... No, Fish is getting a criminal gang together. Battle of the Bands is going to get... I can't wait. Gray R, thank you very much for the tier 1 subscription. Helping us hit that 350. Or hold that 350. We're above 350. Full mode pattern recluses. Did I? But getting that done will help. I can't remember if I may have already built one, but I'm not seeing it at a glance, so. Something I need to do. I need to build this into a nicer temple. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make a little zone, like right here. And I'm just going to attach the Noiseless Will, which is the temple that is down here. I'm going to delete this particular zone. I'm going to let them just move up there, and I'm going to build a little room down here on this floor so that they'll have like a separate space for their worship instead of having to, you know, just stand in the open floor. And we'll make it a little bit nicer, I think is the plan here. It's so many frames that I actually had to turn down the frame rate. It was running too fast. This fortress got a 100% frame rate increase. So it was running at just a flat 100, so I actually turned the frame rate down because the flat 100 was a bit too much. Like, it's hard to see. Enjoy the editing, Dan. All right. Does my CPU have ASCII dwarfs burned into its surface? Fuck me, I hope not. I don't want anything burned into my CPU. Because I'm no expert, but that sounds bad. Like, it would just be bad for your CPU's health. But no, I can confirm that there was nothing burned into its surface. This is the 7800 X3D. And no, it's not going to explode. I've already underclocked it and checked the temps. But no, the old broken one didn't either. There was nothing burned into its surface. I can confirm. I guess I actually have a computer now that's worth bragging about. It's been a very long time since that's happened. The Outpost liaison shows up and they say, let's discuss your situation. Merit deserves reward. I come empowered to establish this colony as official land of our realm. Can you imagine the trade dragons? There are responsibilities and the nobility must live well. Flattering, but we already have a baron living here and I'd rather keep my distance. Yeah, but like what's weird is like this fort runs extremely well, right? But the other one, Machine Waters, still kind of runs like shit. So I don't know what's going on with Machine Waters. Like Machine Waters runs at the same speed as the old one, as the old CPU. Whereas this fortress runs like significantly faster. So I don't know what's going on there with that. It's got to just be something to do with this particular fort, I guess. I don't know. Less water math? There's very little water math going on when that fort's just idling. There's a lot of water math going on when I drain the water, but I'm not always draining the water. I feel like I'm generally quite happy with CDO. Was it a 6x6? Yes. But still, I feel like it would get... Considering this fort literally got a 100% frame rate increase, I don't know. I'm still a little bit weirded out that it's not a higher frame rate increase. But, I don't know. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, that's for sure. Actually, cancel that one. I do, and I need to make a video announcing that. Because, yeah, Zach and Tarn are going to be on the stream on the 20th. And we're going to be joined by Putnam, to my knowledge. Some migrants have arrived. Yet more migrants arrive. Oh, and a Cyclops arrived. The Cyclops, Ospran, Al-Lawur, Zidaur has come. A giant humanoid monster with a single eye in its forehead. And I place 2 more windows. Let's see, where is this critter at? Okay, you're there. Where are the migrants coming from? Pretty close by. Must have been chasing the migrants. Oh. Wow. That's every single one of its kills? Okay, I was gonna say every one of them is notable. No, these are, it just has 70 kills. Wow. It's naked. Has no family. It's enemies with a lot of groups. Doesn't feel anything while in conflict. And that's pretty much it. Well, I guess I'm gonna tell the military to go stab it. Let's hope that they can get to it. Let's follow the thing. She's fighting with a child and a hunter. The hunter is in pain and bleeding, and the child is stunned, and the stray baby yak is terrified. The Cyclops, well, let's see. The Cyclops punches the hunter in the left foot with their right hand, and the injured part explodes into gore. An artery has been opened by attack, and the force bends the left ankle, and the part splits into gore. Ooh, ow. Ooh, no. No, that's bad. That's really bad. The Cyclops charges at the child, collides with the child, and knocks back the child, and then grabs the hunter by the upper right teeth with their left upper arm. I guess grab them by the jaw, essentially. We're going to move a few turns forward. The child's dead. A few more turns forward. It's fighting with a kitty now, I think? Nope, kitty ran away. Let's see. The child punches, or the Cyclops punches the dwarven child in the left hand with her right hand, and the injured part explodes into gore. An artery has been opened by the attack. The force bends the right wrist, and the part splits into gore. A ligament has been torn, and a tendon has been torn. The Cyclops grabs the dwarven child by the second finger with the left-right hand, and the dwarven child misses the Cyclops. The Cyclops releases the grip on the child's right hand, with the child's second finger on the left hand, and then the child misses. And then the Cyclops places a chokehold on the child's throat and strangles the child. Strangles, and then grabs the hunter by the third finger with their left hand, probably while still strangling the child, and then goes after the hunter again and then says, "Death, it's all around us. This is truly horrifying," and the child was found dead. So, strangling a child while wrestling with a hunter, then punched a kitten. So it's death then. You've chosen death. And then after punching the kitten, he says, "I've improved my fighting and that was satisfying." So chat, this just did. Cyclops thinks punching kitten is satisfying. Make sure you write this down. This is very important. Because, you know, punching kitten is satisfying. Sorry, but this has to go on social media. Give me a second here. It's just very, very important. All right. Screenshots taken. A few more turns move by. It appears that our valiant hunter, Urvad here, who I was kind of worried it was their child that just died, but I guess that's not the case. It is, however, their kitten that's getting punched, so they are defending their kitten with their life. The novice animal caretaker here, who is currently enraged at all enemies and is married and has 2 children in the fort. So if this dwarf dies, it'll be losing a family will be destroyed. And it seems that Urvad has now finally been found dead. Does Urvad have any final things to say? Urvad. Well, the hunter misses the Cyclops, and the Cyclops bites the hunter in the lower body, tearing apart the muscle through the pigtail trousers and spilling her guts. So we saw her guts fly out for a second there, and her right hand fly into the tree, and that was the dwarf getting ended. This dwarf over here, this beekeeper, is in the fort with their mom and their younger siblings. 42-year-old dwarf, also about to go probably. Man, this is a bad spot for this for this Cyclops to show up, or a good spot because like all of these fresh migrants here, they are starting to beat the Cyclops down. The military has been summoned. They're on their way. They're just very far away. So we have 3 dwarves now. This administrator Dumat, Id the farmer, and Aereth the farmer are all just punching the Cyclops now. And it appears that the Cyclops may have finally met its match. If we actually look at the combat logs here, I'm stuck in an ad now, so I'm not going to say anything for the next 30 seconds. You think that was the parent, child, and kitten that died? Probably. I should have checked who the child was, the whose child it was, but cage this Cyclops and throw him in a pit. I'd need them to walk to my cage traps, and it would probably walk through a lot of dwarves before it would walk through my cage traps. So I'm just not worrying about it currently. Took you days, but you finally have a working RTX remix into Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. That is such a specific thing. But congratulations. How does the stream look at 60 FPS, by the way? My old CPU couldn't do it without, like, dropping frames to all hell. All right, we got 13 seconds left in this ad, and then we'll continue. Seems smooth. All right, let's move forward. Yet another peasant joins in the brawl. The Cyclops is extremely injured and just getting beaten by 4 dwarves. If we jump back into the combat log, we can see right here that, yeah, they're just punching it. They are just punching it. They're twisting its neck and bending it. It's getting bruises, and they're just punching it. So they're just going to keep punching it, I would assume. If I actually check its description, he's very bruised and broken. He's got some broken fingers, some broken. His foot's bruised, his cheeks bruised, or her cheeks bruised. Her body's bruised, so a lot of bruises and some broken fingers. The dwarves appear to be continuing to punch her. She is overexerted. Some of the dwarves clearly got bored and left. The dwarves themselves are getting tired and overexerted. So if this thing wakes back up, then that's a problem. We're still waiting on the military, which I'm sure are on their way. If we look at the combat log once again, because the game's been unpaused for all that time, we can see that like the most recent fight is literally just, I can't just stand by. No need to feel vengeful. Punch, 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 punch. Bruising. Lots and lots and lots of bruising. Where the hell is the military? Seems like one of the... Oh, here's the military. Ral shows up finally, and the creature's dead. And then, oh no! Overwhelmed by fear, experiencing trauma, horrified after seeing the Cyclops die. Meanwhile, Ral over here, Cyclops main, doesn't feel anything after seeing people die, and doesn't feel anything after seeing the Cyclops die. And then the Cyclops, the final blow to kill it, after getting punched in the neck for like a week, gets stabbed by the spear dwarf, tearing the muscle and fracturing the skull, and then stabbed again in the head by the iron spear, and the injured part is cloven asunder. And we've got two very overexerted dwarves. We're going to eventually get up and move. Would you do okay in the military here, Dwarf? I wonder. Nope, not in particular. How about you? Nope, not particular. All right, so we lost like, what? 1, 2, 3, was it 3? 4 dwarves. Okay, so 4 dwarves, 4 coffins. One, two, three, 4. Farmer Zergrush? Pretty much, yep. Bruised to death is a bad way to go. Yeah, rest in peace, kitty. Rest in peace, kitten. But yeah, no, I mean, it's nice to be in 60 frames per second. Actually, there was a brief period of time where my forts were in 60 frames per second previously. There was a brief period of time where they did that, or where I was able to do that. And then I don't know if it was just like a driver update or something changed where like, then just suddenly I couldn't do that anymore. And I've never really tried again. So, also, just out of curiosity. Yeah, currently CPU is running at 70 Celsius, which is fine. Which I'm okay with, and I'm only using 18% of it, so that's cool. Do I have a library? In this fort currently, no. No, that is a thing on the to-do list that I have to get done though. About warfare. I have a military screen guide, but what do you mean by about warfare? Because like I have a tutorial on raiding and a tutorial on the military screen. I don't know what else you would want me to cover, really. Attacking sharks is made a masterwork. Thigh cut grew to become a duck. And so I love how if there's a named creature, Thigh cut Agorthakosoth has grown to become a duck. I really hope that it was a duckling that grew to become a duck, as well as Cybrek has grown to become a dwarven child. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, no, kind of what Pseudonym Spike said is like the military stuff in Dwarfort is pretty bare bones. I need an Animal Caretakers Guild? I beg your fucking pardon? Animal Caretakers Guild. I guess I'll put that over here because, like, I've got this little pen going on. But yeah, no, it's probably raiding and military, I would assume, is what you'd want. And the combat stuff in Dwarf Fort is pretty bare bones. So, like, don't go into it expecting, like, I guess kind of like chat said, don't go into it expecting Total War, because you are not going to get that out of it. What you are going to get is a interesting game in its own right, but in comparison to, like, grander strategy games, Dwarf Fortress does not live up at all in that regard. Fighting, kicking, etc. What, just rolling with wrestlers? I mean, wrestling is like the meta strat for adventure mode, so. But wrestling in adventure mode operates a lot differently than it does in fortress mode, so probably has something to do with it. Yeah, no, totally. So then what you want is you want the raiding video and then the tutorial screen video. But since people have been asking me about Jagged Alliance, my kind of plan for, like, games in the near-ish future really is I want to check back in with Starmancer. I want to play more Xenonauts 2, and I want to check in with, what was the name of that video game? It's another game that I'm keeping an eye on that I'm blanking on the name of now. There's other new games coming out, but, like, Jagged Alliance is not super high on my priority list. Oh, Caves of Cud's always there. Caves of Cud's always there. I mean, if it comes out and it gets overwhelmingly positive reviews and everybody's playing it and everybody's like, Blind, you have to play this, it's a life-changing experience, then I'll consider it. But I don't know. I have zero nostalgia for Jagged Alliance, and all of my knowledge of Jagged Alliance is it's shit for insert 50 reasons here. So that kind of makes me not really want to touch it, if I'm going to be honest. Because I feel like everything that has had the word Jagged and Alliance on it in the last decade that's come out has just been garbage. So, or like borderline shovelware. I don't think aren't they working on another Dominion? Like, jokes aside, aren't they working on another Dominions right now? Not Conquest? Pretty sure Illwinter's working on another Dominions right now. Also, hi, Tickers. How's things? I think that's a matter of perspective. The most successful games in the world are all AAA games. I think it's just the games that you pay attention to that you like are, you know, indie games. And also there's the fact that, you know, they might be doing well, but you may not acknowledge the ones that are doing well because they may not be games you like to play. So, like, as an example, Cyberpunk was a massive success. Critically, it reviewed horribly on launch, but it sold a bajillion copies and made a fuckload of money and is continuing to, right? Like, that's an extraordinarily successful game. Ubisoft games generally sell quite well, or as well as they need them to in order to succeed. Why did I make you into a temple? I didn't want to make you into a temple. I wanted to make you into a guild hall. This is an animal caretaker guild. Yeah, that. And approve. And Craftsdwarf's Guild. Call of Duty sells insanely well. Madden still sells insanely well. Like, a lot of AAA games are doing very well. I think what you're confusing them with is it's a shame that AAA games are not appealing to you. Because you want games that appeal to you, and I get that. But there's lots of games out there that I have absolutely no interest in even glancing at for a second. Like, that might as well not even exist, in my opinion. And there's a lot of games like that might as well not even exist. But at the same time, like, are selling extremely well. Weeks, sometimes months to get onto Bay 12's forums. Well, I mean, like, just to give you an idea, right? I guess technically Oxenfree just came out. Sorry, I just realized somebody I know who subscribes to this channel just put out a prologue on Steam. Gross. Don't release prologues on Steam. It's just spam. It's awful marketing model. I hate it. Hate it. Hate it. But I was just trying to look at what's coming soon on Steam and realized I can't really do that because summer sale's still going on. Although that ends... Oh, wait. Hold on. No, it isn't. Can I refresh Steam and actually see, like, new games on Steam now? Yay, the summer sale's finally over. I can actually look at Steam again. I mean, like, okay, just taking a glance. I was gonna say, I mean, like, Red Dead Redemption 2 is still one of the... Like, I don't know, Red Dead Redemption 2 and Elden Ring and Cyberpunk are all in the top 10 highest sellers. It's like, yeah, I think AAA is doing just fine. What is a prologue? When people release a Steam demo with its own Steam page instead of just releasing, like, a demo on their Steam page to get more clicks and more views, and it clogs up the new releases section. So half of the new releases are free demos that are listed as prologues. Just go to Steam and sort by new, and you'll see like a dozen free games at almost any given time that are free, that are just like demos of bigger games. So that's what, or just go to Steam and type in prologue. It's literally just store spam for the sake of marketing, to the point where, like, I get sent keys for prologues maybe 2 or 3 times a month, and I generally just refuse to even look at them. Like, I refuse to even acknowledge that they exist. With, like, the occasional allowance where I will, you know, look at another game and be like, okay, I will look at this one. But usually the case is that I just look at it and then immediately regret the fact that I looked at it, because it's like, well, now I just feel bad. So I don't know. Make sure that you actually collect sand. Did you hear KSP music? No. You are listening to the Dwarf Fortress soundtrack. So you either launched KSP in the background or you are hearing things. It's Elden Ring and AAA. Is it possible to ask a dumber question? But in regards to how long does it take to get approved on the Bay 12 form, it depends on how frequently Tarn's checking it right now. Yeah, that's like asking if Marvel movie is a big budget movie. Or is a Marvel movie a blockbuster? More like AA or something? No. They are very much AAA. They are the definition of AAA, even. Perry the Platypus might run on AAA batteries. From my time with it, I'm not allowed to review it yet, so ask me on the 18th. But I plan to play more of it. I legitimately cannot give you a decisive opinion on the game right now as part of the embargo. What I can say is that I'm going to be playing some more of it tonight. So read from that what you will. AAA makes you think of batteries. I'm getting a fatigue of having to explain to people what AAA is because most AAA games market themselves as we're small, low budget. We didn't take 200. Like fucking Sony spends $200 million on their games apparently, which is insanity. So you know, there's that. There is that. It's a business model to make yourself seem small. So I need to make a craft dwarfs guild. Question is, where do I want to put it? I just like video games, right? And it turns out that the majority of the video games that I like tend to be considered small budget. And yes, I see that. Read the Discord word story. Just give me a second. And most of the games that I enjoy are small budget. And generally when bigger budget games get thrown at me, even if I feel like I would be interested in them, and this almost is like covering the Jagged Alliance question that a few people have asked. It's like, I feel like, especially if that game finds its audience, I feel like that game will do just fine and does not need my promotion in the slightest. A game really needs to interest me for me to want to play it. And it also has to kind of fit with my channel, which basically means that it's probably going to be a game that less people are going to cover. Xenonauts, the reason I'm kind of allowing that one is because, how do I word this? It was a Kickstarted title that I think a lot of people wrote off because it was in Kickstarter hell for so long. Tooth is money. If used, you win. One time in Band-Aid, manufacturing a curiously confused adhesive strip to bring wounds a healing, burning, sliding close. We mine the air so it explodes every day. The hole in the heart gold flakes off. Wow. Anyway, Wonderwall was here. Then perish. Pixel art is now verboten. Germany reclaimed it. The delicious pies are also in the practice of being fruitful. Occasionally, this story was traumatizing to me. There we go. I was going to write because, but Null got ahead of me. For Kickstarter backers? Oh, totally. But, like, there's a lot of people who back things on Kickstarters and never play the backer builds and go, it's not out yet, dead game. Like, I have a friend who's got like 150 hours or something in it, which is kind of funny seeing him on Steam. It's like, already owns this game, has 150 hours. Literally also commented recently, he's just like, if you see me in game, please kill me quickly, thanks. Because his face is in the game. So, if I see Thompson, I will be sure to kill him. How's the new PC going? I had to turn the frame rate down. Like literally, that's how the new PC is going. I had to cap the FPS at 75 because it was running at 99 frames per second. Block floors in, dig out areas. Oh no, I mean I've been doing that in the last few forts. It's a really nice design aesthetic for this version. Does someone remember Galaxy Command? No, I do not. I just searched for this. I do not remember this at all. Can you try to up your pop limit to test your new computer? I mean, I really wasn't planning on doing that, but I guess. Here's the thing. I don't know if I necessarily want to test it. I just want Dwarf Fortress to run well. Yeah, I don't know. Unless there's, like, overwhelming demand for me to raise the pop limit, I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, machine waters, that's kind of the thing I've done with machine waters. I've increased the population of machine waters up to 450. Well, it's not just that. It's like, I want Dwarf Fortress to run better the way it's running currently. I don't know if I necessarily want Dwarf Fortress to run bad with more people, so I can just go back to complaining about the same, like, issues, right? Servish has shared many tales. Gissu shared a rumor. Interesting. I mean, I know what Dwarf Fortress needs to run quickly. It's high single clock speeds. I planned to buy a Ryzen for my next CPU regardless because they just perform better than the Intel equivalents and are cheaper by a lot. And so no, not really. I mean, I had to buy parts on a whim. I don't know if you were watching the Discord while I was buying parts, but literally, like, all of the parts that I was initially planning to buy, I couldn't because they just weren't available anywhere, and I actually had to pay above MSRP for this CPU. So, I mean, I settled with what I went for. I didn't, and I had to buy stuff quickly. So it was either like wait 3 weeks for the parts that I was initially planning to buy, because I was originally planning to get the Ryzen 9. So I was originally planning on buying a bigger CPU, but I had to settle. I had to go with whatever I could get. So did I plan specifically for Dwarf Fortress? I mean, that's maybe a bit disingenuous if I were to say yes. So Crafts Dwarf's area is going to go up here. No, I was eyeing the higher i9s. Not the i9s. I was eyeing the higher Ryzens, the R9. I'm bad. Don't ask me about computer parts. I don't know what the fuck. I don't, honestly, I'm gonna be blunt with you. I don't want to think about it anymore. Like, the last 5 days was like the most stressful 5 days of the last 6 months because I had to think about computer hardware. If we could just stop talking about computer hardware until the next time I need to upgrade or buy a computer, I would be quite happy. It's like, honestly, this one works. Doesn't matter what I was eyeing. Let's focus on Dwarfort and the fact that the frame rate's good. I hate that part of computers. The whole keep up with the tech. You know what would be a beautiful world for me? With the games I like and everything? If we could all just agree as a society to stop advancing home computer hardware and just keep making the same shit. So I could just like, oh, this is dying. Okay, I'll buy a new this. Okay, then I'll buy a new this. Bring the prices down. You know, like get better at making them. Make them smaller. Make them faster. Make them more efficient. Easier to recycle. Am I the only one who wants this? We like stop just making graphics cards the size of a fucking shoebox and use more power than my parents' car. We do that? That'd be great. 1080p is pretty great. Can we just stick to that? Please? Can we like just agree to do that? That would make me real happy about computer parts. But we don't live in that world. Tell it, Arthur. Thanks for the raid. Sim Texagon, what kind of dwarf would you like? Well, then, I mean, I would be much more keen to talk about computer parts if that's all it was. No, so yeah, no. Thinking about computer parts gives me an anxiety attack. I basically didn't eat for 2 days, and like was so stressed I couldn't sleep last night. So yeah, no, I don't want to think about computer parts anymore. I don't want to think about computer parts for at least 5 years. Because fuck tech. I hope your stream was good, Telenartho. Cheers, mate. Any sort of metalsmith for Sam. Any sort of metalsmith. Any sort of metalsmith. I have no idea why I have so many animal caretakers. I don't have any metalsmiths, I don't think. That's not true. I got a metal crafter and an armorer. Who do you want? Do you want Stukos or Mebzith? Learning some weird things that happen with embarks with reclaims that you weren't aware of. Do you reset your water table height? You make a volcano explode? What's the common one? Sam Texagon is a nervous wreck and is absorbed in delusions of self-importance. He doesn't stick with things, even if minor difficulties arise, and he feels strong urges and seeks short-term rewards and generally acts impartially and is barely moved to mercy. Could be considered rude and is not particularly interested in what others think of him and tries to keep things orderly, and he lives a fast-paced life and he tends to be swayed by the emotions of others. He needs alcohol to get through the working day and doesn't really care about anything anymore. He personally dreams of crafting a masterwork someday, and this dream was realized, and personally values honesty and values loyalty. He likes Allanite and Billin and Zircon and Thornback Ray leather and large gems, and giant pandas for their striking coloration. And the words of the silks of sight of this, and the silk and the words of the youth of cleaning, the sound of the mirthful silks, and the sight of the suitor of lyrics. And when possible, prefers to consume cheese, prickleberries, and radish wine, and absolutely hates cave spiders. His very long beard is neatly combed, his sideburns are clean-shaven, and his very long mustache is neatly combed. His hair is clean-shaven, and his very narrow chin. He has a very narrow chin, and his lips are very thin. His nose bridge is somewhat concave. His hair is ecru, and his skin is pale brown, and his eyes are heliotrope. Your faction was on its last legs, so you reclaimed an abandoned place destroyed by a forgotten beast 250 years ago. Your queen and a bunch of barons there, and they are listed as hostile, but do not attack and complain, but do not act as members of the fort. Yep, that'll happen. It's because you won't be migrating her in. If you abandon and reclaim the fort a couple times, she might leave. It doesn't stay in the preferences tab. Yeah, that's one of the many gripes about this UI. The one that truly bothers me about this UI is that I can't read the description of the gods from within Fortress mode, like anywhere. Also, apparently you're related to a devilish potato. She's your aunt. Auntie Devil. You have a lover named Idan who doesn't live here. And your wife is Catan. Build cages onto them and threw them into a pit over the tavern. That, yeah, or you could kill them. I know that's a little brutal, but you could just, like, kill them. And then, you know, then they'll be, like, someone else will inherit the throne, right?
Food, right, please. Food is
Yes, Nerif? Time to decompress for a bit and relax. Yeah, I know the feeling. Post-stream decompression is a thing. It's also an important thing to do. You should be doing that. So many weave thread into cloth jobs. So this is going to be a Crafts Dwarf's Guild. Getting these dwarves furnitured. Not that many boxes in the fort. And we're going to go and just close this material for gem windows. Still not high enough value on this one yet. Let's just make some stuff out of iron. Let's just do iron statues. Let's do iron... Might just do 10 of each. Let's get those going. Do I use auto loom? I just let everything automatically get loomed. It's not technically auto loom because auto loom is the DF hack command. I just use the default looming settings. Automatically use loom all thread or whatever. But no, I do not use the DF hack. You've been playing a lot of Crab Champions? I haven't touched Crab Champions in a minute. But yes, I do automatically weave all thread. Sometimes I set it to dyed thread, but very rarely. All right, so Crafts Dwarf's Hall. There it is. I mean, it's definitely a looming threat. About how job requisitions should be completely scrapped and redone. So wait, when you say job requisitions, do you mean job requisitions in Dwarf Fortress or job requisitions in real life? I'm confused because of your statement about the might be your frustrations with real life thing. Ah, I mean, yes. It's for the same reason that dating apps should be illegal. When you remove the human element from the way people find jobs, it makes finding jobs almost impossible for most people. Just like when you remove the part where you have to communicate with people for dating, it becomes almost impossible for most people to actually find people. And it just incentivizes bad behavior and empowers people who take advantage of the system, thus making the system worse for everybody. So, yeah, no, I agree. Also, hello, Weeb Trap. That's an emote and a half. What are you demanding? A Weaver Guild? Sure. I'm sure that the neutral merchants are going to be a very good neutral party in this fortress. And then also a Weaver's Guild. Well, I guess the Weaver's Guild would have to go down where all the weaving is, right? Which is down in the caverns. A Weeb Guild? You're watching the wrong stream. It's kind of funny, but maybe kind of funny, but I'm almost at this point in my life anti-anime. Like, I never particularly liked anime and then dated somebody for a really long time who was very heavily into anime and thus was forced, lived with forced exposure for a number of years, and now I just kind of... Sus is basically how I feel about anime now. I mean, yeah, there's great anime out there. But like the fandom and culture around it is ruins lives. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm sure that there's like a Fergalicious parody I could write that properly explains why I distrust anime currently in my life. I mean, I like, here's the thing. I'm not anti-anime. I'm borderline anti-anime. I don't think I've ever been anti-anime. There's never been a point where I'm like, I hate their shit. It's like, I do actually quite like quite a few anime, but would I ever make a weeb guild? No. No. Cowboy Bebop live action. The Matrix is the best anime, and I'm closing my DMs so you can't tell me why this opinion is incorrect. What about Weeb Dwarf? I've never met one in my life. Have you? The Matrix is the best anime is a valid take and not a bad one. I mean, here's the thing. When I say The Matrix is the best anime, I'm not talking about the Animatrix. I'm just talking about the movie The Matrix. Because it's basically just a fucking kung fu movie. I mean, aren't the most popular mods for Darkest Dungeon all like, yo, we made the characters in this game a bunch of waifus. So now you can actually want to fuck them. Oh, I also liked the Animatrix. But the Matrix is better than the Animatrix. You've been fucked over by anime heads? I mean, it's just like every now and again I'll throw out the hot take of I'm never dating a cosplayer again. And then people then respond, why wouldn't you date a cosplayer again? It's because I dated one for like 9 years and she almost ruined my life. So, like, genuine statement. The amount of shit that woman put me through, I can't even. Uh-oh, there's an ad, everyone. Going on in a Discord. Oh, I see. Hugh, developer of Warsim, is looking for ideas for new update. That would explain why there's an at everyone there. It's actually not too far from the truth based on what she told me after she left Tapioca, but... Was not planning on making a huge clothing industry down here, but here we go. I mean, it was said as a joke, but like, jokes are all based in reality. Even though you're a cosplayer who married a cosplayer? It's like I said. It's damn near ruined my life. I need to melt down more iron. Fortunately, I got plenty. Artifact just started. So this is the Animal Caretakers Guild. And this is the Craftsdwarfs Guild. And down underground, I'm also making a Weavers Guild.
Fortress 75% because of you and your content. Such a good game. Thank you for your content.
Thanks for watching stuff, Iron. Cheers, dude. Good evening, Stone. Chat, Stone needs a subscription to the channel. Stone has been living off of gift subscriptions to the channel for 30 some odd months, and we need to continue this streak. Or SimDev needs new ideas. He literally just didn't add everyone in his Discord, so yes, it seems so. Looks like they're singing again. Poetry of adoration is a form of music used for entertainment originating in the free theater. The form guides musicians during improvised performances. They recite nonsensical words and sounds while the music is played on an Arkoth, Leibash, and Akim. Tobes, thank you very much for gifting a sub to Stone. Cheers, mate. I don't know why, but DW and DF is a pretty common typo. What? Performance is at the exposition of the first theme. And the singer always does the main melody and should be strong. The Arkoth provides a rhythm and should be passionate. And the Leibash does the counterpoint melody and should perform sweetly. And the Akim does the main melody and should be strong. I mean, I like Dwarf, so Dwarf-Tris. Mm-hmm. It's dwarves and Dwarf Tetris. Naturally, it's definitely what this is. I've got so many peasants in this goddamn fort. Dreams of mastering a skill? How do you feel about the military? Okay, well, you saw Bombrek die. Lives an orderly life. Cracks easily under pressure. Is obsessed with acquiring wealth. Oh boy. She is quite comfortable with others that have a different appearance or culture. Yeah, you can go in the military. Jurist. 'Tis good day to dig. Yes. Or however Worf speaks, I don't know. New militia captain. Metal and spears. And... let's see, you dream of creating a great work of art. How about you, peasant? Dreams of raising a family, okay. How do you feel about stress? Dislikes the natural world, is troubled by this. I mean, you should go do something, but probably not this. Probably not joining the military is something you probably shouldn't be doing. Dream of mastering a skill. Thinks working hard is an abject idiocy. Doesn't handle stress well. Well, phooey. We've got a clother who's been possessed, and so far they've grabbed pigtail cloth. Let's follow this clother. And there you are. Hello, nobody. Is what green glass? People in green glass dining halls shouldn't. Oh yeah, no, those are all green glass tables and such. Yeah, all my most of my furniture is green glass. What are you going for? More pigtail cloth. Yeah, that'll happen sometimes. Anonymous, thanks for the 10-pack. Shoutouts to Anonymous. Chat, can I get a big round of beers for Anonymous for that 10-pack of gift subs? Appreciate you. Seriously. I like it when you're just like topic and then just suddenly, whoa, numbers. Shoutouts to Anonymous. Thanks, Anonymous. Getting blocks? I missed what else he grabbed. Panda leather. Excellent. Homemade panda leather, too. We imported those pandas and immediately slaughtered them. Iron bars as well. Okay, what else are we grabbing? Magnetite. Good, good, good. Gotta hold those magnets tight. But yeah, I guess that's a hype train. Courtesy of Anonymous' 10-pack and Tobes gifting a sub to Stone. So if you happen to have a resub, now's the time to throw it in. Or don't. It's not like we get like new emotes for them anyway. Most people have all of them. Keeps muttering, Vice Contractress. Thanks for the $1. Appreciate you. Let's see. 3 pieces of nice pigtail, alpaca leather, magnetite, shirt blocks, panda leather, iron bars, and brush titan leather and magnetite. Any bets on what this dwarf makes? How's the value of this? There we go. That's 1 guild hall. It's not quite a guild hall. Let's see if I got more tables yet. That'll probably get you up enough. Let's go underground so that we can hopefully do this Weaver's Guild Hall. Which is just going to be this upper wall here.
And some bits too.
How do you do stuff? Well, if you follow the channel, you get access to Crypt Burr, which is our free emote. It's the beer equivalent. It acts as a beer emote, and the bot responds to it with beer if you post it. So I would recommend Crypt Burr. So it's B with sans one E. It's beer with only 1 E instead of 2 E's. Like Ashir just typed in. But it's fine. Twitch has a learning curve to it. Although, to be fair, whenever I try and type in emotes on, like, YouTube gaming or something, I always feel like an idiot because it's like, oh, I feel like this should work in a way it super doesn't. There you go. And in order to use the other emotes, you have to subscribe, which costs money, so don't worry about it. They are fine follow-ems emotes. That occasionally get sorted around, but not too frequently. Let's get oak logs down here. I'm gonna make a quantum stockpile for fabric, I think. How's the Ryzen rocket? I had to turn down the frame rate cap. That's how the Ryzen rocket is. Well, you get all of them for free for just following the channel. So. Can confirm, Stony made the Dwarf. The alternate blank dwarf. So now the question is the hype train going to level up to level 3 and help streamer pay for the Ryzen rocket? Or is it just going to sit there? And then just get a thank you. Oh shit, made a pigtail rope. That's going to be the nicest prison cell. Lolar, the clother, has created Bicycatress, a pigtail rope, and offers it to the Inn of Winter. A very fancy rope. This is a very fancy pigtail rope. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with tails of with pigtail and brush titan leather, and is encircled with bands of pigtail and rectangular magnetite cabochons. This object is made from pigtail cloth, and this object is adorned with hanging rings of panda leather and menaces with spikes of chert. On the item is an image of the fated treasure, the alpaca wool trousers in pigtail. On the item is an image of a long four-sided prism in alpaca leather. On the item is an image of Mebzuth, the dwarf, and a spear in iron. Mebzuth is raising the spear. I like it. Any plans on increasing the cap? Why do people ask that? Can I just enjoy the game with a good frame rate for a bit before I raise the cap? Like, it's gonna slow down. What's it called? Water Lungs still runs at 30. So I'm just going to enjoy the good frame rate for a little bit. Welcome back, Peter. Cheers. For a second month and helping us, hopefully one day, earn that 70-30 split from Twitch. So, I don't know why everybody wants my frame rate to be bad again. I'm going to enjoy the good frame rate for a little bit. I'll think about turning it up at some point. I think I will move... It's either going to be the cows or the yaks here. But I appear to only have one cow and one yak. So let's move the cow here. Is there a dwarf available to be redeemed? No. The last one was 30 minutes ago and they're every 45 minutes. You have an addiction to having as many little fellows on the screen as possible? I like my frame rate to go higher. I mean, like, we're getting lots of... There's going to be lots of little fellows on screen, that's for sure. I don't see why, like, yo, the frame rate's fantastic. Let's make it bad again. It's like, why? Let's just enjoy the nice frame rate for a little bit. And then it'll be a battle of the bands to see who gets the actual Dwarf Redemption once it's available to be redeemed. So there's no guarantee that you'll get it. You know, you're just here to see all my takes, but you're never here to see all my gives, man. If all I have is takes, then what gives? Did you use the pigtail rope for a well here and have the dwarves use it? I was going to use it in the prison. Going to use it as a as part of expanding the prison. But a well's probably not a bad idea, actually. Especially considering I'm pretty sure this is an aquifer right here, and this is my hospital, so I probably should do that. That's actually a better idea than what I was going to do, so... Yeah, it is an aquifer. My fortress is out of food. Really now. Okay, let's solve that. Problem solved. Moving on. All right, so you get out of there. This is going to start filling. It's already at 2 of 7. And I can place a well right there. Because, like, if we look at this, this is all aquifer, so. I can throw a well right there. Let's use the one dolomite. Let's use a black cap bucket and the artifact rope. Oh, definitely something to do with the 1,000 drinks I've stored, yeah. Definitely something. Also, I haven't been slaughtering my animals as much recently. Oh, I have a baby grizzly bear. Well, that's great. Gonna need to remember to train that. Babby grizzly. Look at that. Look at the cutesy little babby grizzly. Ain't it a derbs? Baby bear hanging out with mama bear. But yeah, no, the oh no, I ran out of food is kind of an oh no. Anyway. The Hames of Grizzle. I like the idea of the name, the Gales of Horror. I'm going to let the Gales of Horror join the fort. There is 3 of them, and I will approve the Weavers Guild finally, and we'll go finish that up.
I return. Thank God.
I congratulate you on a successful return, Al. It's been a long time. How you been? I was actually thinking about you the other day. Where you been? What you been up to? Hopefully fun stuff. You may have told me, and I definitely completely forgot. And so just assumed that you abandoned me, and were never coming back, and I was never going to see your little text chats and chat ever again, because I tend to assume the worst. I usually just assume that I offended somebody and they stopped watching me. Is generally my assumption when I haven't seen somebody in a while. But it's good to see you. How you been? Ghost Bat, hi. How's things? And thank you. Let's please never talk about computer hardware ever again. Because fuck me, that shit's stressful. And my old CPU and motherboard is being sent to the firing range, and a friend of mine's gonna literally shoot it. Because he was literally like, hey, can I shoot that with my gun? Because I took some photos and sent it over to a friend of mine. I was just like, I'm ripping apart my computer, rebuilding. He goes, can I shoot that? Like, okay. Well, here's the thing, right? I'm not pro-gun in the slightest. I don't like guns. But the range that my friend goes to has a really good thing that they do. If you want to shoot your old phone, your old computer, hard drives, whatever, they have a bin by the main entrance, which is electronics recycling for your own targets. And the idea is like, I want to get rid of all of the data on this phone. Let's turn it into pulverized, crumpled metal and then put it into the electronics recycling bin. Which, you know, And then had to go to Italy for 3.5 weeks. Oh, well, that sounds lovely. Hope you had a good trip. I like how you say that you had to go to Italy as if, like, you, for some reason, didn't want to. Hope you had a good trip to Italy. So, yeah, I don't know. Will they make a vid out of that? I won't, and I also won't post it. Would they for you? Maybe, I don't know. Italy really hot right now? I mean, isn't it generally pretty hot, if you know what I'm saying? I mean, the food's generally pretty hot. Temperature, you mean? I know what you mean. You know, this might come to as a shocker to some of you, and I know that some of you are stuck in ads right now, but the planet's pretty fucking hot right now. Like, didn't we just have, like, the globally hottest day on record, like, a couple of days ago? Like, Earth's just pretty hot currently. It doesn't really matter where you are. It's hot here. Like, everywhere's hot. So, I don't know. I need a Weaver's Guild. Weaver, 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 Waxworker, Weaver, 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 Weaver. So what I'm saying, Chad, is it's getting hot in here, so definitely keep your clothes on, close the windows, and turn the AC on. Q Paris Hilton, that's hot. I mean, I was just going to. It's getting hot in here. That song that never gets played anymore. Weaver, they're there. We spent 6 hours in a car with him one day. And do you think your mother is traumatized now? Because of your driving or because of your uncle's driving? Oh, because of your uncle's driving. Okay, I see. I mean, that's fair, probably. Couldn't tell you what good driving is like because, frankly, I've never seen that. So I don't personally think it exists. I think there are two kinds of drivers in this world. Those who are bad and then those who recognize that they are bad. Talk about whether or not this stockpile can take items from anywhere or only from specific workshops. Yeah. And then you. Options, track stop, dump down that way. I need a minecart. I don't think I have any minecarts. Considering that tutorial window just popped up, I'm assuming I don't have any minecarts. So let's just make minecart. Feel like they should pretty quickly start filling that up. There we go. It was like right as I was starting to wonder why they weren't filling it up. It was like, oh, now they did. Look at that. Magical. Cloth. All of it. Please. None of that. And I just need that minecart. There he is, cleared out manually. Minecarts aren't exactly necessary. They're like a fun addition if you want to add that kind of management to it. I'm thinking about building some more housing down here. Because I was initially going to just do all of the housing up here, but now that I'm building in the caverns, maybe I should put housing down there. I mean, like, I'm running out of space pretty quickly here. When are we going to get that? I don't know. When are you going to ask somebody who could actually give you an answer to that and not me? Because, I don't know. Soon, hopefully. I mean, I don't know about you, but I could go my entire life and never, ever, not once in my entire life, eat maggot cheese, and I think my life would be just fine. Like, I don't think that is something I actually need to do in my life. I'm quite happy not eating maggot cheese, in fact. This may come as a surprise, but if I could just go my whole life without having to eat maggot cheese, you know what? I'm okay. I'm okay with that reality. What do you want? Catapult parts. Did I not queue up 2 of those? All right. Getting text messages from something. How is new Pooter? Significantly faster than old Pooter. I mean, like, you were gone for a time, so the other one got very, 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 very shit during the last week of its service to the stream. And let's just say there was a point where chat, explain in like one sentence what the stream looked like on Tuesday. If you were here on Tuesday and you watched the stream on Tuesday, explain in one sentence what the stream looked like. FPS 2, choppy. PowerPoint. Ah, yes. It was like I was streaming. That would have been way cooler. That would have been way. Yeah, true. I did get freeze framed long hair for a minute there. And from what I could tell, it was because my motherboard was literally failing. Which really sucks because, like, this was a month where I was like, yeah, I can save money for taxes this month. And then I have to do that. So, not thrilled. But, you know, is life and is what, you know, we're doing. So. I was mailing you frames via post. You know, Yeah. Yeah. Why is there a human dancer sleeping on my floor? Lady, why is there a 70-year-old dancer sleeping on my floor? We do have beds for you. I'm ready for my next frame. You sound like you're like putting photos into frames. So this little area, what have I done wrong here? Oh, I see what I've done wrong here. Forgot to set you as the load stockpile. I was like, why is nothing getting moved through? There we go. Now it's working. All right, so I guess now that we've done that, I'm going to build out a clothing industry, and we're going to do all this down here. You need to go watch that VOD later. It's just the one from Tuesday. Basically, every game was completely unplayable, so gave up pretty quick. Gave up pretty quick. Kind of tempted to just use blocks for this, but... Or to just use boulders for this. I kind of want to channel out all of this. Like, I'm trying to seal off this so that this area is a little safer. But I kind of want to channel down into here to let these trees grow. Make a bit of a tree field. And then I think maybe put more housing in down here. Down with all these cavern spiders. You know what, chat? Maybe we get rid of the idea of making machine waters into, like, the extremely large population fort and just do that with this fort. Maybe this fort we go for Dwarfopolis. I know a number of you guys have been like, you're going to turn the frame rate up, and I've been like pushing back on the idea. Maybe that's what we'll do in this fort. I do need to get enough housing for the dwarves I currently have though first. I'm looking at this lower area and being like, you know what, maybe I could just like fill out this entire cavern with housing. Got tons of space down here. Might as well utilize it. Turn the frame rate up? Well, I mean, I turned it down because chat was complaining it was going too fast. We were sitting at like 95 and I can crank it up to 100. And it was holding steady at 100, so I don't really want to turn it up. It's because people have a hard time watching at higher frame rates. But it was holding steady at 100. It was like 98 frames average. All creatures are capable of moving diagonally in Dwarf Fort, yeah. The Divine Buttons! How could we possibly refuse a group called the Divine Buttons? But we will deny the rest of them. I'm gonna fly back up here and remove the few looms and stuff from up here. I'm pretty sure I made some clothing stuff up here somewhere. There's a forbidden spear right there. We'll make the allowance for that spear. You can go away. You can go away. Whammick, what kind of dwarf would you like? Let me know if you'd like to see the list. Are creatures with trap avoid able to avoid traps if they're having to move diagonally through a trap maze? Moving diagonally is like you moving southeast or like northwest. It's got nothing to do with, like, there's nothing mechanically different about moving diagonally. No, the only way to make trap avoid beasts fall into traps that are trap avoid is you have to knock them over into the trap. So you have to force them to lie down. Herbalists. I've got quite a lot of herbalists, actually. Let's see. Eustace or Folteg would be pretty good calls. Dobar is also quite happy. Let's see. Olon is also quite happy. And so is Raoul down there at the bottom, although she's a lie maker. She makes lies. Tells them, too, sometimes. Dobar? Dobar! Well, sounds like a Pokemon. In life, you should work hard. And then work harder. Hustle culture. This dwarf's very obsessed with. He has a strong sense of duty and hustle culture, and can be happy and optimistic, although it's generally toxic positivity. He can sometimes act without deliberations. Without deliberations, and he has a tendency to go it alone without considering the advice of others, and he tends to be a little tight with resources when working on projects, and he tends to not be swayed by emotional appeals. He does not have a great aesthetic sensitivity, and he is conflicted by this since he values artwork and its creation. Generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity, and he tends to share his own experiences and thoughts with others, and occasionally overindulges. He talks to inanimate objects when he's trying to remember something and needs alcohol to get through the working day and doesn't really care about anything anymore. This is throwing me off. Emoji look different on Windows 10. What the fuck? For a second there, I thought you were using, like, some custom emoji set, Holy Kai, and then I look at it and I'm just like, wait a second. Weird. He personally believes that little is better in life than a good party, and would have the world operate in complete harmony without the least bit of strife or disorder. And he dreams of crafting a masterwork someday. He likes kimberlite, lead, and white chalcedonian, blue peafowl bone, and nautilus shell, and rope reed fabric, and crossbows and sheep for their wool, and toads for their beauty. And the sound of the mirthful silks and with the sight of the aquamarine queen of queens, and when possible prefers to consume mussel and parsnip wine, and absolutely hates brown recluse spiders. His very long beard is neatly combed, and his short sideburns are neatly combed, and his very long mustache is arranged in double braids. His very short hair is neatly combed, and his somewhat short head is somewhat narrow. His slightly thin irised heliotrope eyes are somewhat narrow, and his nose bridge is somewhat concave, and his ears are somewhat broad, and his hair is chestnut, and his skin is cinnamon. Why would you... I mean, the way to disable emotes in Twitch chat is just load in with IRC. IRC doesn't know what any of those are. Or use a third-party extension and then disable them. And then they all just disappear. Necromancers sharing rumors. Interesting. Piss! The were-elk has transformed into a goblin. The goblin named Piss. Naturally. Piss the naked goblin. Saw a dead body. Killed 2 elves at Stood Sloppy. Apparently there's a place called Stood Sloppy. And Piss, the goblin bard, killed 2 elves at Stood Sloppy. They must have stood sloppy. I think Natural Chant is a better name. All right, well, it's time to remove this issue. Oh, I see. They're already killing it. Perfect. Violence ensues. I am trying to kill Piss, yes. Piss is now dead, and fortunately there was no necromancers inside that resurrected it. That would have been annoying. So Piss is now dead. Was executed by this peasant named Mistum, who apparently is about to go back to training. He was one of my spear dwarves. Missed him. Didn't miss him. In fact, he stabbed him multiple times. with his iron spear, fracturing the bone. An artery got opened by the attack, and a sensory nerve got severed. Eventually stabbed him in the right hand, and the injured part got cloven asunder. Bites the goblin in the upper body, tearing the muscle and the heart, or bruising the heart. And then stabbed it, shook him around by the body, tearing apart the upper body skin. And then the Goblin Bard punches the Spear Dwarf in the right foot with her left hand, but it was deflected and she probably got a sore wrist. And then the Dwarf strikes the Goblin Bard in the foot with his iron shield, bruising the bone, and that was the killing blow of all things. And the Force pulls the left ankle, tearing the muscle and tearing apart the muscle, and screams, "How fleeting life is!" This does not scare me. Well, they were naked because they turned into a were-elk and then ceased being a were-elk. So they lose their clothing when they become a were-creature. The clothing doesn't come with on the transformation. So we had a unwilling stripper in the tavern that, yes, just got turned into pulp. But we're going to go throw him into the masher. Yeah, piss blood is all over the floor. Also, Piss, by the way, is my new grindcore band. All of our songs are 18 seconds long, and we sing about piss and piss accessories. He's just a very exotic way of removing his clothes after. I mean, yeah, no, totally. It's like, you know, those people who just flex so hard that their clothes go. It's like pulling an Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anime moment, sure. Noblification. She ended up in the cage trap but would have broken the cage when transforming later. It's really funny. If you catch a were creature in a cage trap, when they transform, they don't have the were creature sprite. They don't transform into the were creature sprite. They transform into the moon sprite. So it looks like you have a moon in the cage. I don't know if that counts as a bug or design decision or what, but it amuses me and I like it. You won't like me when I'm hangry indeed. Piss Planet Brutal, yes. I say this because I discovered a grindcore band, like, this morning. Oh no! An artifact is missing from its proper place. Pretty sure that's literally it. It's that perfect gem. I'm thinking that that goblin stole my perfect gem. And then became a were creature, came back to attack, didn't actually attack, and then became like, and dropped it halfway. So it was found missing from its proper place, or is missing from its proper place, but we found it right here. So that's kind of funny. Name of the band? Scab. They have a demo on YouTube, and I think the demo's also on Bandcamp. Also, for clarity's sake, I don't know if they're new, but they're new for me, so. Do I have my children on corpse hauling duty? Of course. What do you think? What are we, at daycare? Come on. Oh, also, another turn of events in the last few weeks for anybody who's missed a few streams or doesn't follow super closely. I no longer post on Twitter, aside from go live notifications and like very work-related things. So if you want to follow my gardening blog and like Dwarf Fortress related posts, I recommend following me on Mastodon, or alternatively Blue Sky. But Nobody has an account on Blue Sky yet, so there's no reason to follow me on Blue Sky just yet. There's a dog in there, and yes, I'm well aware of this, Stokill. There is a dog in there, and the dog should be able to notify us, but they haven't been doing their job. So frankly, I think I need to put more dogs in there. Or is it purely a better experience? It's a purely better experience. Unless, like, the lack of keyboard controls is a deal breaker, which I think is a weird hill to die on. But I don't understand this charm thing that people say that, like, Dwarf Fortress has lost. Maybe I'm just not old enough, but, like, I don't know. I feel like I've been playing Dwarf Fortress for a pretty fucking long time, and I don't see any of the, like, loss, I guess. Threads? Yeah. Sorry, it's a natural response. Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to play an ASCII, like, play an ASCII. Like, you can still play an ASCII. But, like, version 50 is, especially, like, now that Putnam's editions have come in, it is 100% a better experience. Like, I've literally canned old forts that I was planning to go back to purely because, like, saves aren't compatible and I do not want to play in the older versions anymore. Like, it's just, it is a better game. ASCII is so much easier to design in? Okay. What's the point of that statement? Like, I'm not going to play in straight ASCII, so. RimWorld sprite mod when? I mean, no. RimWorld sprites are ugly? Thanks. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I prefer square ASCII, so I don't really have any interest in playing in the current ASCII, but it's more for me like the colors. I need to be able to adjust the colors. I don't like the jet black backgrounds, and you might be able to adjust the colors in ASCII right now, but I would need a custom color palette to be able to play in ASCII currently. Which, to my knowledge, currently doesn't exist, so. Very bad because I don't blog. Like, very, very bad. I don't write text. I barely even, like, write tweets. I rant in verbal format, not in text format. Like, I'm a horrible writer. Like, there's a reason I don't script any, and I mean any of my videos. None of my videos are scripted. I don't even write bullet points for them. Dang it. Ran out of applewood. I have birch. I think that's the same color. No, I mean, like, here's the thing. And I guess the thing that you need to know about me, I don't like social media. Like, at all. I wish it didn't exist. So, like, I'm not exactly seeking out more social medias, and I especially don't like blogging. So, I mean, if you want to follow my Tumblr-like experience, you can follow me on co-host, at which point you will get a, oh, right, yeah, this platform still exists once every 8 months. Because I messed around with co-host for a little bit and very quickly figured out, yeah, this platform isn't for me. And that's kind of the same feeling I have about Tumblr, is, yeah, this platform has no reason for me to use it whatsoever. We're also out of food again. We've got a bunch more grizzly cubs. But it made your depression worse, so you stopped using it. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, no. I mean, I only ever use Twitter because of work. And, now I don't even do that. But I certainly used quite a bit of social media on and off again throughout my life. And there's this tiny record label I really like. They used to do a lot of really interesting, like, electronic music cassettes, and now they're just doing 7-inch records, which I don't really buy. Makes me sad. Come on, guys. Buzzatronic Records, please go back to doing cassette releases, because then I'll actually buy them. Yeah, I mean, Facebook's probably the worst of all the social medias that I've had the displeasure of having to use. They come with 7-inch nails. They're supposed to be 9-inch nails, dude. Come on. Please. A forest that is dark and vile has arrived. Really bad timing, because I'm currently harvesting all the food outside. But where? That's my militia captain. Okay, well... What vile force of darkness, game? We would have seen them by now. But we haven't. There's literally nothing on screen, so I don't even know. I don't know, go back to training, I guess. I guess we just get the Vile Force of Darkness music. Were they passing through? They must have, but I didn't even get the chance to see them. Apparently they're snatchers, but... Vile Force of Nothingness. I think what ended up happening, actually, was they showed up, but I think it was just snatchers. Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. I'm seeing a bunch of dwarves running. Oh, they're all in conflict or something. There's something on the map now? Nope. Still nothing on the map. Is something hostile. Kind of looks like they're all right. No, they're probably all just harvesting shit. Yeah, no, none of them are... like, literally, my dwarves are everywhere on the map just harvesting stuff. Yeah, anyway, I think they saw my recruit militia captain, which is enough to spook the... It is more than enough to spook the general, like, goblin snatchers. So, that's my assumption, is that the snatchers got there. Ah, you have disrespected the trees in this area, but this is what we've come to expect from your stunted kind. Further abuse cannot be tolerated. Let this be a warning to you. Noted. I can't wait for your ambushes. We shall increase the military. So, for reference, with this fortress, I'm intentionally leaving it so that there's going to be large amounts of bloodshed. We are leaving, like, I'm building defensive structures and whatnot, but I'm not using burrows, and I'm kind of planning to just avoid using burrows, so that's going to lead to a lot of collateral damage. And also, I have this public tavern up here, so half the dwarves are hanging out above ground anyway. So, if this fort gets violent, that's why. I'm just going to do it even more now. Maybe not even more now, but... I mean, most of the reason all these dwarves are outside right now is because I told them to go gather plants. I could have also told them to, like, go down here and gather plants, which probably would be smarter, actually. Which we're going to do as well. Should also probably be farming down here, especially now that I'm building this whole thing. When the nature elves are going to attack in spring, it's really spooking you. Is blood appearing out of... Is it appearing out of nowhere, or is it from previous fights? I think they will. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the way the, like, elven diplomacy goes, but sometimes they skip a step. There might be a bad guy nearby. Unlikely. I mean, my assumption is it's probably just like something that was left from a previous fight. That would be my assumption. Ishtan Groovetool wishes to join the Inn of Winter as a citizen of Rosepass. And that dwarf is, or that person is, Ishtan. Ashton. So this Dwarven Bard wishes to join permanently. So they are currently meeting with our mayor, Cade Ranos, and they are requesting a permanent residency here. Do we allow this? What do you think, chat? Does it say it's right? I love how that's a question. I mean, my assumption is it's probably just left over from the last fight if you fight with them before. If you've fought with them before, Celestine. Because usually blood ends up on top of all other liquids. Feels satisfied after petitioning for citizenship. So chat, press 1 in chat if you think I should let this bard stay as a permanent resident. Press 2 if you think we should say no. This chat isn't a democracy, but we'll pretend for all of our sake that it is for today. All right, we approve. It's pretty much a landslide. Welcome to the fort. Gonna go make coke. Joins fort, immediately goes off to go make coke. And she is very satisfying. What's up, Wings of Steel? How's things? Good day, lad. Hope things are good. I got you to launch Dwarf Fort again? Wait, you closed it? Why would you do that? Oh, look at this. An elven caravan has arrived. Well, I will bring them cut gems. Not gonna give them my jades, though. Because I would like them to bring me big animals. Sell them some trees? Yeah, sure, I'll get right on that. I'm sure they'll love it. I'm sure it's also helping that I can stream at 60 frames per second, and also that my in-game frame rate is higher. And also, I think I'm holding at the higher bitrate better, too. Assuming that they're going to come in this way. Oh, they made it. Sweet. We will request a broker at Depot, who is currently drinking. Randomly make you blue screen. That seems not good. If anything makes you randomly blue screen, I would recommend not doing that thing. That's just my recommendation. You can take it or leave it. People seemed to enjoy the results from the contest, though, so that's good. Well, this is interesting. Apparently there is a forest fire in an area that I normally go hiking in. Awesome. Awesome. Like, literally right where I normally go camping is currently burning. Great. Good thing I'm not there right now. Somebody must have set a fire. Any casualties or explosions? The frame rate exploded, so I had to turn it down. Recommended not hiking there. I mean, I'm planning on taking this weekend off hiking. We were originally going to go hiking this week, but we decided to go hiking next week instead. All right, trading with the elves. I guess I will just give them a good deal. He says, and then decides to actually give them a less good deal. Give them enough gems so that it's green. Trade. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for your business, they say. And then my broker goes off to go do whatever the fuck he's been doing. Thought it was a deployed parachute? Parachutes in Dwarfort? But can it sit? That's the actual question, Cetrix. You were as stunned as me? I mean, I would be pretty surprised if I saw an open parachute in Dwarfort as well. I guess like I could kind of see it, but all right. Let's try and get some more housing up in here, because I got more dwarves and they need housing. So far today, let's see. We had a Cyclops kill a bunch of dwarves. We had a were creature show up and get like unlifed. We had, I don't know. It's been a decently eventful day so far. There we go. More housing. I mean, dwarves have built-in parachutes. They're called beards. And lady dwarves can just pray. Or maybe they also have parachutes. It's called their children that they're holding. And then if that parachute doesn't work, then the mother dwarf then just converts into cushion and hopefully allows baby dwarf to survive. I don't know, force of habit. Most actually, in this, the actual reason for this version of the game, I mean, if you go back and watch any of my VODs from version 47 and before, I do the exact opposite. But I think that smoothed floors and smoothed walls in this version of the game, and specifically in this tile set, are ugly as fuck. And also because of the way beauty and wealth was changed in this version, it's now like actually value-wise optimal to build on the floors because a built wall is more valuable than a smoothed floor. It wasn't an official attack. It was a visitor that had were-elkism named Piss, who was a goblin. So we saw the goblin transform back after came in, tried to steal one of my artifacts, got out of the fortress, transformed back into a goblin, dropped the artifact on the ground, which we then recovered afterwards. Ran back to the tavern, I assume, to try and attack something, turned back into a goblin before it could attack anything, and then we stabbed it to death. Have I seen any vampires in this version? Dozens. Dozens. But it depends on the world. Just like previous versions, where like sometimes you'll have billions of them and sometimes you'll never see one. Piss the Goblin? Probably never. I mean, I already have a Goblin for Mayor shirt. You could go by that one and just say that's Piss the Goblin. A goblin named Piss, P-I-S, was a were-elk, yes. Not piss. Piss. Completely different word, okay? Piss off. Yeah, there you go. You know, I gotta say, chat, you know what the best purchase I've made recently is? None of these computer parts. I bought extra garlic dill pickles for my sandwiches. So I get an extra garlic dill pickle on my sandwich today. I'm very excited. It's going to be the highlight of my lunch. The human bard Ushas Risenko has shared many tales from beyond Rosepass. We basically know exactly what's going on in the entire world. Look at all this. These are all these rumors that are being shared. Things like this particular fortress being destroyed by whom? Human, no, Goblin Pits, I think. Yeah, Goblin Pits destroyed that dwarven fort. This Ilix is getting attacked. Tons of activity going on down with the goblin, or with the elves, rather. Human forest retreat. Looks like the humans are at pretty heavy war with the goblin, or with the elves. The elves and humans are at war. They're fighting quite a bit. That's a populated world. I did say maximum sites and higher number of civs, so yeah, it's a pretty busy little world. But we are right here. I'm kind of thinking about hitting the Goblin Helix of Quake Sizzle, because it was one of my helixes previously, and it has my books. So I think I'm just going to raid. We're not going to loot other items. I'm going to send the Red Road Walkers and just see how they do. We're not going to try and openly attack them. But I'm assuming that they probably have prisoners from my civ, so because that has been taken over since we started this fort. Quake Sizzle, yes. It's Quake the Sizzle. Do they walk on the road? They leave the side of the map that's closest. Dwarves do not prioritize the roads. Literally, the roads have no mechanical impact on Fortress mode. Aside from being a really cool artifact of adventure mode. and like giving you an idea of how world gen works, but any news on adventure mode? I will give you the exact same response. No. But on Thursday next week, so I guess 1 week from today, I need to make a video announcing this. On the 20th at, I'm guessing 3 p.m. Pacific, Tarn, Zach, and Putnam are going to be on stream. I'm assuming Zach and Tarn. It's usually Zach gets confirmed like 10 minutes before, but Tarn and Putnam and probably Zach are going to be on stream, and we're going to be talking about stuff. Probably mostly about optimizations, but I mean, like, here's the thing, right? If you're actually sorry about pestering me and not just doing it as a joke, if you're doing it as a joke, then I don't know, feel free to continue. If you actually want to like keep up with stuff, literally just look at this website once a day. Go to bay12games.com/dwarves. Darn posts all dev posts and relevant information right there. And if there's news, that's where I get it from. So, unless like I've been sent stuff privately, at which point then I probably would either have already made a video or can't talk about it anyway. So, like, wonder here if 15-year-old forum account still works? Probably. They don't like ban accounts for being inactive. Currently have a job making beds. Just make 100 beds. Making sure the baby grizzlies are assigned to that, which they are. And Dwarf has gone into a strange mood and is possessed by unknown forces. Named Rain Bleach? Well, at least that water's clean. Oh yeah, also something I should mention, I actually lowered the difficulty on hype trains because recently there's been people that have tried to start them and have been frustrated by the fact that they haven't been able to start them. So they only require 3 actions now instead of 4. Previously I had it set to 4 for a while. Since I'm hovering at 68, 69 frames per second, I'm going to turn it back up to 100. Appreciate the $1, Shark Jumping Walrus. Curious if it's going to skyrocket back up to 100 now. That's interesting. I lock it at 75, and it hovers at like 68, 70 to like 73, around that nice number. Whereas I put it up to 100, and it sits at like 85, 90. I mean, it is like slowing down slowly, but... Yeah, honestly, I feel like dwarves should just name every single creek or river like variations on something bleach. Exdale Glossrain wishes to live here for the purpose of eradicating monsters. I will permit that. And it seems like my squad has returned already, so let's see how they did. Okay, so the forces of the Free Theater attacked the Malice of Stroking at the Immortality of Passages at Quake Sizzle. The dwarf Kickroast led the attack, and the defenders were led by the goblin Nist. Nist's tactical planning was superior to the dwarf, and the defenders had a strong positional advantage in Quake Sizzle. The Bronze Ivy, led by the dwarf Kickroast, clashed with 2 goblins in Quake Sizzle. And the goblin Nist's tongue was ripped and then was struck down, so the leader goblin was struck down. Apparently there was humans. There's this human. Anger Raise fight. I read that as anger rage fight initially. Angir, probably name. Anyway, that's a good name. Rage fight. Anyway, looks like they battled back and forth. We didn't lose anybody, and the dwarves got out alive. Let's go hit them again. Because we took out their leader. So try it again. The Malice of Stroking, yes. And the game's running at 69 frames a second. It wasn't, but... But yeah, plan for today is maybe a little bit shorter stream than normal. I've been looking at the schedule to see if I can fit in any extra streams over the week. To see if I can make up for like the lack of content. And honestly, I think it would be better for me to get caught back up with YouTube stuff. Like actually get some community fort stuff done and things instead of just like trying to grind out more streams. So I think even though we missed some streams this week, I'm going to stick to the normal schedule. And just do that. And Gear is Lance and Goblin. Still a funny name. But, very goblin-cultured human. Oh no! An item is missing from its proper place. I like how we keep finding them outside of the fort. Goblin hair earring. As if that's its proper place. Dwarf Monster Slayer Frozen Stalker, an Autumn 506. Too afraid to not comply. Adil plotted to steal Rock Diamond under the influence of subjects. So we've got people trying to steal my artifacts listed in there. So UGDPY saw that the artifact was missing. Let's interrogate UGDPY. And also, at least one visitor. We'll pick a random visitor who seems suspect. Like this elf. And... especially because they're listed as a poet but wearing full armor. And this dancer. Interrogate the dead. That's a little difficult. How about this dead hamster? I'm sure it's witnessed something. Discourse on the composition. This is a red pyrope-bound codex. The written portion consists of a 28-page essay entitled Discourse on the Composition. It is authored by Aventhro Nawulthi, and it concerns the authoring of lizards, the authoring of lizards Considentale by the elf Avintho. I think that's like somebody's name translated. In the early spring of 211. The writing is as vicious as can be, yet completely serious overall. The prose is not awful, but not very good either. A warrior poet? Sus spy, I say. Is very interested after being near a tastefully arranged seat, though. Just gotta say, I really don't like listening to dogs stress bark. A lot of dogs stress barking here as of late. We got a human axeman and a human maceman. In the form of military, or not military, but We've got a human axeman and a human maceman monster hunters in the fort that are going to do nothing but drink my alcohol. And you know what? That's okay. Raoshin Cat. How are you liking your job, Raoshin Cat? Doesn't feel anything when watching a performance. Bitter after getting into an argument. Careless and quick to give up. Well. Ranger wants to create a great work of art. This checks out. I think I clicked on you already once. Yep. Dreams of raising a family. Doesn't mind a little tumult. How's the stream going, Sleepy? Pretty good. I mean, stream's smooth, running at a higher frame rate. My stream team has announced a new game jam, so if you or anybody in chat is interested in taking part in a game jam focused on gameplay accessibility, the exclamation point game jam in the chat, the contest finally got closed. I finally finished that up. So if you, for some reason, entered the contest, which I don't think you did, or if you would like to see the winners of the contest, you can do that by going over to the YouTube channel right now and watching that. And what else? What else is new? I have new computer and it's working, which good. Or mostly a new computer. I mean, it's still the same graphics card and still the same hard drives, but the computer, it's the core of the computer is all new. Yep, and also there's we have a Discord for discussing the event. So if you would like to find a group to work with, or you want to team up with somebody, you can do that there as well. It's just like how when you join the military in this fort, you just immediately strip your clothes off, and then I guess have to run around and pick up gear, which is I guess part of the hazing ritual for joining the military in this fortress. It's like, look, it's a naked dwarf running to go get his gear. Looks like my military is coming back from round 2. Kick Roast led the attack again, and the defenders were led by the human Anger Raise Fight. The human, rather, this time the dwarf Kick Roast outmatched the human Anger Raise Fight with a cunning plan, and the attackers had a strong positional advantage in Quake Sizzle of the immortality of passages, of the malice of stroking. The Bronze Ivy, led by the dwarf Kick Roast, clashed with 2 goblins, slaying them. A goblin almost was struck down. The human Anger Raise Fight's left foot was ripped. Goblin Rupola was killed by Ingiz. And then the Goblin Lid was killed. And then we opened the container. And then the fight ended. Well do. New concentrates, as in like weed concentrates? Right, the interrogation of the elf in wooden armor is commencing. You know what? You're probably right, Salty. I'm still sticking with this. I'm sticking with it. I'm gonna roll with it. Ooh, the elf confessed. Espionage, convict. Theft, convict. And also, oh, we had somebody confess to the previous one, but I guess they left. So we interrogated the elven poet, and the subject revealed that Osman is in fact an assumed identity. Their true name is Amelie. Cactus Roar I roar every time I step on a cactus. This is inaccurate names. They've used a billion different aliases in the past. And in the year 487, an unidentified creature corrupted the ex-spouse subject as the elf monster Tippy. Corrupted the ex-spouse subject as the monster slayer Tippy Year Brides of the Embraces of Mischief in order to have someone act on plots and schemes in past wasps, and the unidentified creature met with the subject and made flattering remarks, and the subject succumbed to vanity. The subject revealed that in the early spring of 487, the subject plotted to infiltrate the Union of Assaulting in order to prepare a coup under an influence of blah 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 blah. Let's jump to the important stuff. In the late spring of 505, the subject, as the elf poet Osman of the Union of Assaulting, corrupted Rith Copper Joints in order to have an agent in Rosepass. Subject met with Rith and made flattering marks, and the plan worked. And Rith Copper Joints plotted to steal Spin Freckles under the influence of the subject. Rith, you say? Do I have a Rith in my fort? Rith Copper Joints, eh? We interrogate him, is what we do. We find... Actually, you know what? Rith, where are you? Rith, there you are. Rith, you're getting a much longer name right quick. Just to make it easier to find. Okay. Wimdy, what kind of dwarf would you like? You'd like to see the full list of dwarves, let me know. We do have some nobles available. Militia commanders available. Captain of the guards available. There's a barony, a baroness available. Brokers available. But if you don't want any particular role, just let me know what kind of dwarf you would like. Captain of the guard? All right. About to go find them anyway. They're currently eating. Wimdy. Wimdy has good sideburns. Wimdy, Lady Dwarf, mum, married to Bomrek, has one daughter, currently carrying it, named Moldath, has a younger half-sister named Ghana Tank, and she would flee even the most necessary battle to avoid any form of physical confrontation. She works to square this natural tendency with her respective martial prowess, and she is conflicted by this as she values parties and merrymaking in the abstract. She sometimes can act with little determination and confidence, and she has a noticeable lack of perseverance, and she prefers to present herself modestly, and she tries to keep her things orderly, and she lives a fast-paced life, and she has a greedy streak, and she can handle stress. She needs alcohol to get through the working day and doesn't really care about anything anymore. Except for her kid, probably. Dreams of mastering a craft or work someday, and personally thinks that the quest for knowledge is a delusional fantasy only done by nerds. But values hard work. She likes Mudstone and Electrum and Harlequin Opal, Rhinoceros Horn, Gems and Crossbows, and Greaves and Rabbits for their ears, and Copperhead Snake Men for their attractive scale patterns, and Maize Plants for their popped kernels, and the sight of the aquamarine of Queens, and when possible prefers to consume grackle, pig cheese, and turnip plants, and beetroot wine, and donkey's milk, and barley flour, and absolutely hates fire snakes. Round of beers for the new dwarves. So, also something I should mention, because, you know, it's summertime. If we, hit 900 subscribers, I will, mug chat. And if we hit that sub goal of 869, I will, gift a sub. Just for current, like, sub goal tiers. I will give away a mug in chat if we hit 900 plus today, and if we hit that goal of 869, then I will mug chat and we'll gift out a mug. Potentially. Number must go up before mugging will commence. So, Rith gets interrogated. Made intimidating remarks. Oh, really? Okay, so that actually didn't... Huh. So that didn't actually add any new information. So I guess that dwarf isn't going to prison. But then... Why have we not... Oh. Well, Osman escaped by making it off the map. Although, because they are listed as a conflict, if Osman comes back and visits the fort again... I just saw an arrow go flying. You injured? No. If Osman comes back, then they'll automatically get arrested. Sensual Casserole, thank you very much for that 5-pack of gift subs. Appreciate you, friend. You actually got Adra the Metal Outlaw in there, who's one of my original day one subs. And as well as you brought back a bunch of... Though every single one of those is, except for just the fan, every single one of those, aside from that one, are resubs. So good shot. Sup, Gloves? How's things, mate? We've got more citizens that wish to join, which is good. I think I'm going to build some housing down here. Am I not making blocks right now? Just make rock blocks. Out of just any material. Keeping it real? I mean, it's better than making it false. You know, I'm actually gonna do a thing. Let's dig a line. Try and make a neat little cavern build for this clothing industry. So I've got these 6 workshops up here, right? But I kind of want to build 3 more. And I think I'm going to put the 3 more down here in an area where we can see them. Can also put a clother's guild like around here or like over here looking down into the hole. He watches a lot of people that have metal emotes. That's one thing I know about Adra. He used to be called Texas Slaughter Cult, but people got, like, spooked by his name. Which I think is a reference to a Goat Whore song or album. I don't know, he's been around for ages. Yeah, I think he's used that emote before. Pretty sure I've seen that exact one. One of the many death metal fans that watches this stream. Not that watching or liking metal is a requirement for this channel or anything, but... It helps. I mean, you'll know what I'm talking about more often. Like, you'll have a better idea of what this idiot's blabbing about most of the time. It's like, it's not a requirement, but certain things will make a lot more sense type deal. Speaking of Aqua, since you're in my chat right now, do you have time to assist with another Bay 12 talk? Because I don't know how busy this one's gonna be, but if I get a billion submissions, holler if your schedule is open enough to assist. Because I greatly appreciated the help that one time. Then the emotes stopped your suspicions. I've seen Ginger live every single time they've come to Vancouver, so. Even though one time they were missing a drummer because he got COVID and wasn't allowed into Canada.
Cheese for everyone!
Yes. Naturally. Pablo, how you doing? How's things? You do? Hell yeah. You'll ping me on the Discords? Awesome. This October, you're so hyped. I mean, I've talked about this a number of times, but the next show that I'm seeing is in like a week. It's like, actually, looking at the calendar. Yeah, literally in a week. On the 20th. No, the 21st. So a little bit over a week. It's on Friday, the 21st. But on Friday the 21st, I'm going to go see Devin Townsend, Dream Theater, and Animals as Leaders. And I am excited. And from what I've been told by a friend of mine who saw the same set on the same tour earlier, by the end of that set, they're all literally on stage at the same time playing Dream Theater songs. So, you know, I'm here for it. Let's go. Bring a towel. It's a seated show, so I don't know if I'll need a towel. At least I think it's a seated show. Like 99% certain it's a seated show. Which is fine. I don't do much moshing these days. Turns out being type 1 diabetic and having a bag full of needles is not... It's not a good thing for mosh pits. In fact, I would argue it's really bad for mosh pits, in fact. So I generally stay out of the mosh pits these days. Oh, wow, frame rate. Is it because I have somebody brawling under the influence? And literally everybody is going to go report the crimes. Yeah, I think that's what's happening. So I've got somebody starting a fist fight. Clearly it's not ending well for them. Throwing a tantrum, brawling under the influence, beating the crap out of people in the tavern, and literally the entire tavern is going, "Mom, someone hit me!" And then we have one dwarf down here who's seriously injured, who's Besmer. I'm glad that Dwarf Fortress can still bring itself to the floor. Last IRL? As long as the player wants to keep it. I don't really know how to answer that question. Like, until you delete them? Just a typical night in the British pub. What, everybody running out the front door to find the nearest cop? You're telling me that there are a bunch of cops. Besmer was found dead. Well, that's a shame. Gonna have to build a coffin, I assume. Uh-oh. Disorderly conduct, 13 witnesses so far. We're going to assign you to get a bopping. I love how one of my fisher dwarves is just a necromancer because reasons. No, Piss is dead. We killed him. So we don't need to worry about taking the Piss mate because Piss is dead. I like how the population of the fortress is the same as my view count. It's funny. You have just connected. The first thing I hear is Piss is dead. So there was a goblin named Piss, okay? That tried to steal one of my items and failed in doing so, okay? That's it. And we killed Piss. So Piss is dead. Their name was P-I-S, which apparently means lance in some language, according to Stone. Oh my god, so many counts of disorderly conduct. Okay, let's see what your conviction is. I guess you need to finish listening to poetry before you can go convict somebody. Don't mind the dead dwarf in the tavern. We're working on it. Why have you not been convicted? Were you a guest and you left the map or something? Time to laboriously give everyone in chat exactly one dwarf and then ban them when their dwarf dies? That seems like something you'd need to script. I don't know. Also, no. It's just kind of more work than I'm willing to put in. The game is saving right now. I'm going to use this opportunity to go grab my sandwich and run an ad break. So my tummy's been grumbling for the last 20 minutes. I'm going to go grab my sandwich. I will be right back. It's just it doesn't allow you to chat. It doesn't allow you to read chat. And I don't think you're allowed to see this stream if you're banned now. I don't know. I haven't been banned from a chat in years. I'll be back momentarily. I return. Chat becomes null and void for banned people. It's really nice because one can ban bots too. Yeah, and stop them from being able to like harvest data. Uh-oh. Farmer went Stark. Oh, geez, did I miss an artifact? Fuck, I think I missed an artifact. Well, rip to that farmer. I'm still, like, constantly impressed by the frame rate of this fort. Oh, that's your alt account? To check. I was like, why did... I mean, like, that name seems like a play on Simcopter, but, like... I'll say Geotrack. I was just responding to your DM. Same for chat reading, actually. Yeah, but, like, there's always going to be ways around bans. Might as well give people the tools. You know? Like, if you're arguing in favor of, like, well, we shouldn't have the ability to ban... You might as well be saying, like, you shouldn't have the ability to ban people because, like, people can just get around them. Of course they can. That's not the point. I mean, I also have this thing where, like, I remove all of my bans, like, roughly once a year. Seems like either IKEA tripped on one of my traps. I'm assuming it did because it's on this mangled corpse. Or alternatively, somebody killed it. So, well done, dwarves. Chirking. Ah, so it's not quite lurking. But I don't like the term chirking. It sounds like a euphemism for something. Quit jerking off while watching my stream, damn it. You know what I mean? Are you still looking at the VODs you're missing from the previous one? What, like, Machine Waters? Because this fort I'm not using burrows, and, I have a massive public tavern, which is this, and I'm literally about to build a second one. So that's kind of the gimmick with this fort, if that's what you're asking. But currently I'm just trying to get everybody housed, because I'm doing a terrible job of that. I mean, I'll never know. No, I know I'll never know, but, and you know what? I don't want to, so. If you're doing naughty stuff while watching my stream, that's fine. Please do the common courtesy of muting me. And don't tell me about it. That'd be excellent. Specifically the don't tell me about it. I don't want to know. Let's go back to working on this lower area down here, because that I can actually work on. Let's go down to here. Ignorance is bliss? Yep. Which is why the classic line that many American politicians would do great to listen to, which is, if you don't like something, ignore it. Move on. Typically, I mean, again, I think it kind of depends on the player, right? I know people who consistently reset their forts when they hit like 5 years, 6 years. So they never make it very far. Me personally, my forts generally last between like 15 to 30 years. Ignorance is sanity. I like that. After 5+ years, nothing is stuck to a year timer. But things like becoming a mountain home take a couple years to get done. I'll say this, I guess. My bad-mouthing American Congress people, yes. The Bible is useful for a lot of metaphors and concepts and advice on life. It's quite useful in that regard. But it's pretty shitty for sex ed. I'm just going to leave it at that. Do I typically play in the same world? I usually play about a dozen forts in each world that I play, yeah. Because that's how you get the most out of Dwarf Fort. Because you said that you're new, right? Like, ideally, what you want to do is you want to play in a fort, and then you want to play another fort in the same world, and then you want to play another fort in the same world. And if you play as the same faction, you'll likely see your own dwarves show up. If you play as a different faction, you'll likely see your own dwarves show up as visitors. Or alternatively, you may see creatures wielding weapons that were made by your fortress. The more fortresses and the more times you play in the same world, the more likely you are to have like built-in what's the word I'm looking for here? Procedural gameplay. I don't know what word I'm looking for here, but there's a word for this. I can't remember what it is. And that's how you get 6 Jerry Gourds. Oh, yeah, totally. Yes. Tale of 2 Jerry Gourds. Speaking of Jerry Gourd, haven't seen him in a bit. Hope he's okay. The broker Tholteg Gosinil meets with the royal treasurer Ospelek Obindonolak. On behalf of the Merchants Guild, we extend my greetings to your people. There's much to discuss. Merchant storytelling. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. There's much to share. More information about has been added to your civilization world info. And do you request of us? Well, these are humans, so bears. Bring me bears. Specifically grizzlies and pandas. Pandas because they're delicious, and grizzlies because I don't know, they're funny. Actually, no, let's also ask for black bears. Get all the bears. They want headwear. Okay, hats can provide. Bring me bears heard outside your local gay bar. As somebody who's never hung out outside a gay bar, I can't say I've ever heard anybody say that before. Actually, that's not totally true. I've walked up Davies Street, but I can't say I've ever heard somebody say, bring me bears. I did go see Cocaine Bear, though, and that was a very good movie, so. Highly recommend you go see Cocaine Bear. Well, as long as PETA has a fit by taking a bunch of attractive women, stripping naked and wandering around downtown again, I'm okay with it. Otherwise, they can keep them fits to themselves. No? Liberate the Forks? A number of years ago... Hold on, let me finish the sandwich. A number of years ago in Vancouver, PETA did a protest where they had a bunch of naked ladies wandering around downtown. And they had written on their bodies, and they were holding signs that just said, "Animals have skin too." with like dotted lines where you're supposed to like cut as like a we shouldn't be butchering animals thing. When that was happening, I went to a metal show that day. It was like in the middle of the summer. And me and my friend just like sat in a pub on Granville and watched like a dozen naked women walk by. And we're like, what the fuck is happening? It was like the most attention I've ever given to a beta protest because we were just so flabbergasted with what we were seeing. It's like, oh no, this is horrible. Please continue. I don't know. Like, it's like, how do I react to this? I'm gonna eat my burger. I don't know. I'm a weekday vegan. I barely ever eat meat, especially at home. It's just the most perplexed I've ever been by a protest. I mean, I'm still talking about it, so I guess it succeeded. That was years ago. Are actual lunatics? Most animal rights activists, in my experience, tend to be. People that, like, actually just... Okay. People that take care of animals and are good to animals and, you know, have pets and rescue strays and all that stuff. Great people, usually. People that run around outside saying, hurting animals is bad! And they have no pets, I'm concerned. Generally. You have to be a bit of a nitwit to have that kind of take on how you operate in society. And I don't think that's like a hot take or anything. I'm pretty sure that's like a pretty normal take. Does a stray include the googly eyes? Weeb trap. Yeah, they're usually just attention seeking. Someone for not being one. I basically never eat meat at home. I occasionally will buy meat if it's on sale, but it's pretty rare that I eat meat. I try and get my proteins from other sources, and for me it's less about I could give two shits about most animals, to be honest with you. For me, it's mostly just about like planetary survival, and me looking at the food industry and going, "That's just fucked, man," and going, "That's bad. We need to stop that." Not in a "oh no, we're hurting animals" kind of way, but in an "oh no, we're gonna fuck the planet if we keep raising that many cows" kind of way. That's what it is for me. But like at the same time, yeah, I don't give a shit what other people do. The Forgotten Beast, Stutu, has come, a great python with external ribs. It has a curling trunk and it undulates rhythmically. Beware its poisonous sting. Dwarves, grab the butcher's knives. Meat's been served. Speaking of eating animals, where it? Okay, so it can probably get to us. When I say probably, I'm going to station the military down here. And if it can't, I'm going to let it come to us. Oh, it's killing something. Something I can't see. Never mind, it got killed by something. What is that? Let's see, does the combat log tell me anything? Ah, reptile people. I think it's time to go to war with the reptile people, chat. Here's the thing. Steaks are delicious. I like steaks. I will eat steak if you give me steak. Steak's also expensive. You know what's cheaper? Beans. And I'm kind of frugal. So... You know what's also pretty tasty? Vegan chili. All right, so let's go fight some reptile people. I think we're gonna go clear out these caverns of reptile people, and then we's gonna build a reptile people trap down here. Because it's time to go reclaim our caverns from reptilians. Oh, right, yeah, because you went insane. That's why. Beans, rice, and spice. The best way to make your meals nice. You hope you're not designated on mining that wall. No, you aren't. Bumwreck is. Oi, they've been waiting right outside. Look at that. Okay, what are they armed with? Bronze, looks like? Terrified while in conflict, the fighting begins. The first reptile man falls pretty quickly. The second one comes through the hole in the wall and also falls equally fast. And there's the rest of them, and my god, Mistum screams to the high heavens. There's so many. The fighting ensues. Where's Van Ori? Van Ori has done some work bashing the reptile's spearman in the upper leg with the shaft of her iron spear, fracturing the bone. The fighting continues. Even more of them are appearing. At least they're not flying, really. Like, that's the actual win here. The dwarves continue to run in and are fighting with the reptile people, and it's frankly an all-out battle. Are you injured? No, you're just a baby. So this isn't so bad, and they're not flying. The issue is I've got all of these designated jobs in the background that civilians are going to come do, so let's read some combat logs, shall we? Van Ori is in the combat log, so we're going to read them. Bashes the reptile spearman in the right upper leg with the shaft of an iron spear, fracturing the bone and twisting the right hip and tearing apart the muscle and bruising the bone. And Van Ori says, I cannot just stand by. There is no need to feel vengeful. And then stabs the reptile man spearman in the left hand with her iron spear, and the severed part sails off in an arc. Bits and viscera flying everywhere as the dwarves crash through, including UGDPY, who stabs the reptile spearman in the left hand with his iron spear, and the severed part also sails off in an arc. They really like stabbing off their hands. I guess it's like how like geckos can lose their tails. Maybe these guys lose their hands. UGDPY stabs the reptile man spearman in the right lower arm with his iron spear, tearing the muscle, and lodges the iron spear firmly. The wield pulls on the embedded spear and regains possession of the spear, and then proceeds to stab the reptile man spearman in the head with his iron spear, and the injured part is cloven asunder. Let us continue the battle. Dwarves continue to maul their way through enemy lines. We haven't actually lost a single dwarf just yet, so this is pretty good. And well, there's more. There's more up top here. You know, I think that this is even more of a testament to how well this game is running on this computer because of how many reptile people are in this cavern. Like, I knew that there was probably a lot. Didn't realize there was this many. And we're finding more. So the fighting continues. I'm going to station the dwarves a little further up. Let's station them up here. Looks like Almost up here is dueling with a good number of them. Actually has one on top of them right now. I'm going to try and move the dwarves up towards where the Forgotten Beast was. She has currently got a little green face above her head. I don't know what that actually means. Spear Dwarf Deagle is fighting. Most recently stabbed a reptile man spearman in the lower body with his iron spear, tearing the muscle and spilling the guts. Maybe we need to make a cavern tavern as well as a surface danger tavern. What do you think, chat? Double cavern tavern? Oh, is that what that means? Does that mean martial trance? I don't think I've actually noticed what the martial trance icon is for this, but it was always just green exclamation points. So yeah, I guess that checks out. This dwarf desperately needs some assistance. Okay, well, we have our first casualty. We lost Almost. The dwarves are mostly fighting down here on this corner instead of fighting off the onslaught from the front. And Zasset, one of my like legendary dwarves is actually a High Master Spear Dwarf, is fighting down the lines with all of these reptile folk. However, has lost her shield, which is bad, and she is getting tired, so I hope she can get out of the fight sooner rather than later. I'm going to set a kill order on all these dudes, so that hopefully the military move up north, because that's what I need them to do to go assist these dwarves that are currently getting overrun. Looks like Ficod here has lost his guts, which is definitely not a good sign for Ficod. And the soldiers continue fighting. So we've in total lost 2 soldiers so far. I think our kill-to-death ratio is pretty good. Call of Duty casters would be proud of these numbers. We do have 2 seriously injured dwarves who are Eusteth and... Eusteth? Oh, Eusteth and Tun. We have 1 nauseous, tired dwarf. You're getting tired. Uh-oh, this is looking kind of bad. Vomits appearing on the ground. I'm going to reassign the dwarves to station in the middle of this kind of choke point here, and hopefully we can finish off the last of these reptile folk. You know, you guys were saying that this is war against the elves. I think it's actually war against the lizard people in the basement. We lost GGDPY, Ficod, Deucim, Tholteg, Ral, and Eusteth and Tun. It is terrifying. It is terrifying. I'm going to send the remaining soldiers down to the lower side here. Meanwhile, Van Ori, once again, is becoming a legendary dwarf. I think it's time to prepare this fort for a fight against the Cavern folk, because we have the frames to do it. I think that that fight deserves a highlight for the YouTube channel. What do you think, chat?